Hey guys, welcome back to the KMAK Science Pod. I'm here with D and Sam. I looked at Sam and then D that way. So here we go. So question we're going to go through right now is about goal setting, because a lot of you guys are going to join and want to get in the best shape of your life, but we're going to give you a breakdown on how you can maximize it. So D, let's kick it off with you. We always hear about SMART goals, and should we always start with SMART goals? Should we set them through?
Yeah, so this was the framework we were all taught as we were training as personal trainers, and it's still a relatively good framework to use. So it the SMARTs stands for specific, measurable, attainable, realistic, and timely. But it's actually more beneficial in a corporate role, or when you have a work goal that you're working towards, as opposed to with a health and fitness goal. There is better framework that we can use, and that's kind of what we're going to discuss today.
Yeah. Question is with the corporate, is there something that they can actually then utilize into fitness as well?
Yeah, so there's going to be a degree of kind of carryover.
Yeah.
But by and large, the framework that we're going to chat through now is better for fitness, and the SMART goals is more than likely better for finance.
Yeah. Sam, I'm going to go to you then. So what's the difference between obviously having an approach oriented versus avoidance, and does it impact your goals?
Yes, this is a good way to just initially start with framing your goals. So essentially, it's kind of what it says on the tin in a way. An avoidance goal would be something like, I want to avoid stress or something like that. Or I want to avoid snacking, something along those lines. Whereas an approach orientated goal might be, okay, I want to practice some stress management techniques, or I want to eat more vegetables or something like that. So it's something that's essentially actually actionable for you. You can go ahead and take a step towards actually achieving.
Yeah. D, I'll go back to you then. How can someone have a goal that is focused on the short term, but with the long-term vision as well?
Yeah. So this is where long-term behavior change really starts to find its place. In order for us to get to this long-term goal, there's a whole bunch of bite-sized chunks that we have to take along the way. So our goal that we have, that big goal, we have to be able to break it down into essentially daily actions.
Yeah.
It's these daily actions, when we stack them on top of each other, that's what gets us to where we want to be. And more than likely, we all have multiple domains of our life that we have goals to work on. But there's going to be specific behaviors that are big levers to pull. There's 3 or 4 behaviors that you could be focusing on for this next 6 months, that if you were to do that, your health will be in a bad spot. So we need to be able to simplify that down to 3 big tangible goals that we're working towards, and watch how they carry over into other areas of your life. You get fitter, your mental health is better, your confidence is better, but also your health is better as well.
Would you say something which is where steps really come in? It's initially it's whew, but the more you just keep doing it, got across the year, it's wow, the benefits are outweighing just because of time by yourself, and you're killing 2 birds with 1 stone. Could we listen to a podcast as well, right?
Yeah, so it's this idea of multi-finality. By you doing one thing, loads of different areas improve. So steps is a great example.
Yeah, because obviously for you guys listening to this right now, you may see, a range between 5K, 10K, it depends on you guys and your day to day. And you may initially not be a fan of steps, but as time goes on, I guarantee in the years down the line, you're going to be wow, that's been fun as well. I mean, Sam, going back to you, difference between having a flexible restraint versus a rigid restraint, and which one works better for someone 12 months down the line?
So D kind of mentioned it there. It's kind of a long-term change, right? And long-term changes don't happen with perfection every single day. So if we have that very, very rigid mindset and steps can work quite nicely for this as well. I'd say we have to hit 10K steps, otherwise it's not been a successful day.
Yeah.
But say we've hit 9,500 and last month you were doing 4,000
or less,
right? Yeah,
typically
that's a huge improvement. So that's where that degree of flexibility comes in, and we could say, okay, rather than 10K steps, let's hit somewhere in the region of 8 to 10K and have that kind of range on things. That way you've got a boundary of where you actually feel you've succeeded.
Yeah.
And that just generally continues that outlook of positivity on your goals and succeeding and moving forwards, which drives that feedback loop of continued motivation.
Yeah, which makes sense as well. I mean, and to go back to you as well on this, but people always go through long-term goals and then they look at, okay, process versus outcome. which one is better, which one someone should focus on right now, because a lot of people come in, I want to lose 20 kilos or 20 pounds or whatever. They'll have that number in their head. So which one should they really just go for? Is it day-to-day processes?
Yeah, so again, this kind of comes down to the long-term thinking of it, right? And the process generally is always going to be the best way of looking at things. I think a lot of people come in with a very specific outcome-orientated goal.
Yeah.
And a lot of our job as coaches try and switch that mindset again. So an example here might be, okay, I want to build 10 pounds of muscle versus I want to train 3 times per week, right? Because again, it's a tangible action that you can actually take those steps towards achieving each and every week.
And everyone comes in like, I want to be jacked as well. I want to be 108 pounds. It's like,
Yeah.
we need to put some sort of processes in place before we get there. There's actually a really good book for a lot of you Americans. It's called The Score Will Take Care of Itself by Bill Walsh. A lot of you guys in the Bay would know about it. And it's all about processes and systems. So it's a really, really good book. To go to you, mastery goals versus performance.
Yeah.
Which one long-term works?
Yeah, so it's this idea of like mastery versus trophy. It's like goal attainment versus the pursuit of improvement. And like with goal attainment, once you achieve that, you're left being like, where do I go from here? I've kind of completed this.
Yeah.
As opposed to when you have a mastery goal where this process is never ending. I just like the idea of getting better. The big thing here is like performance-wise, stronger, fitter, faster. Like there's a never-ending pursuit in that. And if we can have them never-ending pursuits, we always have a target that we're working towards. We can always bake up that degree of motivation to continue to train. So it's really important that we don't have an end point on our goal.
Is that why sometimes in fitness specifically, people tend to go backwards and they're like, you hear about certain studies have come about, which is like people regain all their weight within 2 years. Is it because everything is just, I need to be in shape for the short term, which is like, could be a holiday, could be this. And it's not, the thinking isn't there regarding mastery with it.
Yes. So I think that's certainly baked into it.
Yeah.
Yeah, certainly baked into it is the fact that people have just kind of essentially crash dieted it into a holiday or whatever it is. I think there's other factors at play there in terms of the weight regain. But if you can have that mindset towards like keeping up the behaviors that got you in shape in the first place, it's going to allow you to stay in shape.
Yeah. And for a lot of you guys maybe listening to this who are super new and thinking what like people regain, etc., there is going to be parts of it we'll be discussing in future podcasts as well. But that's goal setting for 2026. Let's crush the year ahead.